Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Despite unemployment being at a 50-year low, some people are coming to me because I'm a career counselor because their job search failed. And here's how I troubleshoot it. First, I look at time spent. Has the client spent a total of at least 50 hours of time-effective job searching? For example, more than a few hours spent developing a resume or LinkedIn profile is usually not time-effective. And of course, time spent spacing out in front of the screen doesn't count. I then look at their job target. To test if a client is aiming too high, I might ask, put yourself in the shoes of the employer. Are you likely to be the person she'd hire or at least interview? If the client is aiming for a step or two down, I ask how they'd explain their rationale for doing that to prospective employers. And then I would assess if my client's answer would make the employer wonder if their stated reason isn't really the truth, but rather that the client has, for example, a serious disease or just got out of prison. I then look at their resume or LinkedIn profile. Again, I put myself in the target employer's shoes. Would my client's resume and LinkedIn profile motivate me to call him or her in for an interview? And if not, are they fixable? That is, the LinkedIn profile and resume. For example, should more or different accomplishments be listed? Should plain English replace resume speak? For example, dynamic self-starter and team player seeks growth opportunity in progressive company. I then make sure that you're using an appropriate mix of job search approaches. People looking for a job that is similar to their current position and whose resume and LinkedIn would impress the target employer can devote up to half their job search time to answering ads and answering queries from recruiters and reaching out to targeted external recruiters. But other people, especially those with little or no experience in their target job, should spend little or no time answering ads except for entry-level positions. They need to devote most of their job search effort to getting their network to open doors, or, if they can be compelling in writing or on the phone, to directly contact hiring managers who are not advertising a position. Next, I want to be sure they're using the optimal form or forms of networking. Alas, networking can sometimes trump competence in finding work, so most job seekers need to network, especially if their previous job hunting efforts included little networking. The good news is, though, that even most people who are bad at and resistant to networking can find a form of networking that's worth trying. For example, volunteering at a target-rich organization such as a nonprofit board, writing blog posts for a trade publication, speaking to local groups, pitching their extended network in writing, by phone, or in-person get-togethers. And once the client has revealed their preferred mode of networking, we can then work on improving their skill at it. Next, I turn to their interviewing. What's the client's demeanor, especially in those first moments from when she walks in, or the first few seconds in a phone or video session, through their answer to the first interview question? We role-played it for me to assess that. Also, regarding checking out their interviewing, how good, yet honest, are their answers to hard questions, whether technical or job hunt related? For example, if you're so good, how come you've been unemployed so long in this unprecedentedly good job market? Many people, including interviewers, alas, are more compelled by story than by straight facts. So I'd see if the client has an armamentarium of good 30 to 60 second, what I call PAR stories. A problem they faced that would be relevant to the employer, the clever or dogged approach that they took to solving it, and the positive result. Problem, approach, result. That is an acronym for PAR. But of course, those would need to be stories that would impress the target employer. Next, I turn to references. If a candidate's been a finalist for at least a couple of positions and not gotten a job offer, it's possible that their references have hurt. I suggest they are meeting with the references, saying something like, I've been close to getting a couple of good jobs, and in this era of reference inflation, I'm wondering if you felt in a position to have given me a strong enough one. What do you think? If you don't get an encouraging answer, you may need to dig up some more laudatory references. Next, we look at follow-up. If they sent a standard thank you note, it's going to rarely help. Indeed, it can sometimes come across as disingenuous. Thank you for the opportunity. What? To be subjected to multiple interrogations and to submit an extensive application and work sample, all at no pay? Better is the influencing letter. Again, it's a term I like to use. in which the interviewers are reminded of the candidate's strengths that they seemed impressed with, and if the candidate flubbed a question, taking a second bite at the apple. On reflection, I've had further thoughts in response to your question about X. After 30 days from a rejection or a no response, it's wise to follow up with an email that says something like, I was disappointed not to have gotten the position because I feel I could have done a good job. For example, and then insert a couple of things that they were impressed with in the interviews. I just wanted to reiterate my interest in doing X or Y for the company and hoping you'll keep me in mind. Next, we look at recreation. Putting in more than 30 hours a week on a job search, or just 10 if you're currently employed, can be draining, dispiriting, and or angering. To avoid that, I urge my clients to limit their job search time to those 10, 30, or 10 hours a week, and to build in restorative recreational activities. And finally, we look at resilience. Endless rejections and no responses are understandably dispiriting, but job seekers who keep the dispiritiveness away, or at least at bay, generally stay in the moment, taking pleasure in each small win, writing a good application, having a pleasant get-together with a networking contact, learning some small new skill. Anyway, especially with the unemployment rate at a historic low, if you change your job search based on the troubleshooting methodology I've outlined here, and the chances are then that you will be employed sooner than later. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. Feel free to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. To comment below, hit the share button and share it in your social media, or subscribe. Again, I'm Marty Nemko. Thanks for watching.